Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of the SAFI webinar series. In this video, we are going to visit the commands move, copy, and extrude. These commands help the user to do many operations on existing elements of the model. Without further ado, let's start our demo. The command move, copy, and extrude can be found on the addition toolbar. We can move, copy, or extrude different types of elements of the model, including joints, members, plates, surface loads, mesh contours, and spatial objects. Let's do an example. Here, I'm going to add a joint, and also I will add a member. And I will add a plate here. We have three different types of elements. To move any element of the model, we need to select it first using the selection command. Then, in the move, copy, extrude command, we select the operation move, then we specify the method of movement. So, we have the distance. In this case, we specify a distance in the global axis system. We specify an x displacement, y displacement, or z displacement. Right now, we are in the plane xz. If you want to do a displacement in the x direction, we can specify, for example, 2 meters, then we click move. Then, the elements will move in the x direction by this specific distance. The second method is based on an axis and a distance. For example, if we want to move this plate from this position to this position, and we don't know the distance, one way of doing it is using this method. We can use this button here to let the software calculate for us the distance and the axes. We click on this button, then we specify the origin of the movement, then the position where we want to move the element to. So, I click here, which is the origin of my axes, and then I click the second time to specify the final position of the elements. When I do the second click, you can see here the software will fill this information automatically. The axis in this case is negative z direction, so it's going upwards. And the distance is 10 meters. So now, if I click move, we can see the plate move to this specific location. Because the joints of these plates' connectivity shares the same position of the destination joints, these two joints are assembled together. Another option that is available when we do a move operation of any elements of the model is to detach it from the structure. So for example, I'm going to create 3 members, and let's say I want to move the member in the middle. I'm going to apply a displacement in the x direction for 1 meter. If I click move, so what's happened here, the member moves 1 meter in the x direction, but also the members attached to this joint will move as well because the joints change their position. So now I'm going to reverse this operation. If we want to do this operation again, but in this case we want to detach this member from our structure, we just need to check this box and click on move. In this case, the software will automatically create new joints where the member is detached, and the structure and the current structure will stay in the same position. The second available operation is copy. To create a copy, we need to select the elements that we need to copy. For example, that can be joints, members, plates, and so on. Then we specify a distance and the number of copies. Let's say the number of copies is 2. We want to create 2 copies of this member in the global axis X, then we click on this button, Copy. The software will create 2 copies with a distance of 1 meter between each. The other parameters that are available for the copy operation are copy loads and copy attributes. Let's say this member, we already assigned a section to it, and let's define some end releases. In this case, the attributes of this member have been edited. If we want to copy these attributes as well, we need to keep this box checked. If we do a copy again, let's just do one copy here. We can now see the copy shares the same attributes as the original member. The last operation we can do using the command move, copy, and extrude is the extrusion. The extrude operation works in a similar way as the copy. We select an element, then we specify a distance, and we specify a number of copies. For example, let's say 2, and we add here a distance of 2 meters. Then we click on the extrude button. We create 2 copies of the elements that we wanted to extrude. In addition to that, we also create members between the original joints and the copy joint. So, this member that has been created using the extrusion operation will not have any attributes. The user needs to specify them manually. One of the use cases of the extrusion command is to create the columns of a structure. We know that the columns are in the Y direction, so we can simply create the joints as the base of our structure. Let's do an example. I'm going to create 9 joints. Then we select these joints and we use the extrude operation, but in this case we are going to specify the displacement in the Y direction. The number of copies in this case will correspond to the number of stories. If we want to have 3 stories, we can specify here the number of copies to 3, then we click on extrude. If we change the view to the front view, we can see the results. The software created the columns automatically using the extrusion operation. So, that's it for the move, copy, and extrude command. Thank you for watching and catch you in another one of our webinar series videos.